Willie D Live.
What's up, family? Well, the first day of the Diddy trial is in the books, and let's just say there were a plethora of standouts, including a star witness who could turn the prosecution's case upside down, could cost them the trial. So all of this waiting, anticipating, investigating, interviewing witnesses, gathering, collecting evidence could all be in vain. But first, let's get to some prospective jurors, including one who said that he learned about the Diddy parties by checking out an episode of the Joe Rogan Experience. Another highlight, juror number 20 was caught shoplifting from Universal Studios, and he told the judge he had to get a lawyer after being busted for trying to get a 5-finger discount on a wand from the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. Juror number 20 also revealed on the questionnaire that he liked to post on social media of a comedian making a baby oil joke. One prospective juror that caught the defense's attention is juror number 29, a woman who says she worked for HBO, the network behind the documentary, The Fall of Diddy. Juror number 30 was excluded because of her work at Simon & Schuster. That's the publishing company behind Al.B. Sure's memoir, Do You Believe Me Now? The memoir includes Al's ties to Diddy and his romance with the late Kim Porter, the mother of some of Diddy's children. Juror number 52 had an interesting schedule conflict, revealing she wanted to travel to a Spirit Weavers gathering. The judge asked what it was, and the juror laughed and said it was a women's event with lots of dancing in the woods. The judge told the woman she would have to miss the Spirit Weavers gathering if selected to the jury. That didn't seem to be a big deal to her. She also shared that she experienced being essayed while in college by a flirtatious neighbor who allegedly took things too far. Now let's get down to the nitty-gritty. Shouts out to Houdini. Federal prosecutors are under pressure because one of the star witnesses has said they're not coming to the trial. They're not going to New York. And so they're panicking right now because the entire trial could hinge on that star witness's testimony. Yeah, they got Cassie, but they need some backup. And this particular star witness says, I ain't coming. The alleged victim is a woman, and the feds revealed Monday that the woman does not live close to New York City where the trial is being held. And they say she's told the court she might not even show up despite being subpoenaed. Prosecutors claim they've had a difficult time contacting the woman and her attorney. And the judge asked lead prosecutor Maureen Comey if the prosecution planned to drop the woman's name in their opening statements. Comey said the prosecution would not be getting into the woman's story until the second part of the trial. And during open statements, the woman would be described as one of the many women who have alleged being abused and sexually exploited by Diddy. Diddy's lawyer said, man, F all of that. The prosecutors need to tell us what they plan on doing with victim number 3 by the end of the week. And the judge implored the feds to make every effort to contact the woman's attorney and secure her appearance. So what do you think the odds are that she doesn't show up? Give me a thumbs up if you think she'll show up. Thumbs down if you say, nah, man, she ain't showing up. That woman ain't wasting her time going out there, man, and telling that lie in public. Now, I don't know if it's a lie, fam. I don't know. It's just a lot of strange things happening. It just seems like it's so many people just started coming out after Cassie got paid. And that's suspicious to me, whether I'm on the outside looking in or on the inside looking out, that just appears to be suspicious to me. I think often, what if this was my friend or, a family member or something in this type of situation? I would hold him accountable absolutely for what I know that he's guilty of. But he's not on trial for beating on Cassie. That's not what he's on trial for. They're only using that video to substantiate his character, so to speak, to which they think is bad, right? So I don't see a guilty verdict. A lot of this stuff is grown folks, he say, she say. Grown folks making a conscious decision to participate in being freaky. And I just don't see a clear pathway for the prosecution to secure conviction. I don't see it, man. But this is going to be a very wild and interesting case. So I'm going to cover it, fam. I'm going to cover it like I was right there on the spot. I'm going to cover it because, it's an interesting case. I'm interested in it. I know a lot of you guys are interested in it also. But it's a trip to see how the judicial system works. The jurors walked into the courtroom and not one juror made eye contact with Diddy. That's telling because that means they were instructed not to do that. They were instructed. If they were instructed not to make eye contact with Diddy, what else were they instructed to do by the prosecution? Because I'm sure that the prosecution and the judge, they all on the same team. Let's get that straight. So if the judge instructs them to do something, the prosecution is on board with all of it. They're all on the same team, man. So when those jurors come out there, and who does that benefit? It benefits the prosecution, not the defense. The defense wants the jurors to look at their client as a person, as a human being, not as an object, not as this monster, right? The defense's job is to humanize their client, to humanize Diddy. The prosecution's job is to demonize Diddy. That's why the prosecution will always refer to Diddy as the defendant. That sounds hard right there. Defendant. Right there, the defendant. They'll never, Mr. Combs, ain't none of that. The defendant. And the defense will say, Mr. Combs. And sometimes they'll even go even further and call him by his first name. Well, Sean this, Sean. Get you used to that, Sean. Yeah. So I don't see this case going too far in terms of being able to prove Diddy's guilt. And again, $1 billion will take you a long way in defending yourself in any court in the world, but especially in a capitalistic society like the United States of America, where money talk and BS walk. But what say you, fam? Drop a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts. No more talk.